What's up, companions? Here we are. It's season 3, episode 7, and first off, pretty cool to be saying what's up to more than 1,000 companions now. I appreciate that, guys. That's pretty cool. Yeah, like I said, I've just been doing this for fun. It's a hobby, but talking to you guys is just really enjoyable. This is a great community. And as somebody who's loved these books my whole life, one of my absolute favorite things, but I've never really had like that sense of community around it because I could never find anyone else who I could convince to read all these books. So it's so great to have both the community of more book readers that I'm communicating with now, and also all of us who are fans of the show. Two great communities. And I appreciate you guys hanging out here. It's been a lot of fun talking to everybody, and, I feel like I know half of y'all now. So, it's been great getting to know you. But we are going to be watching Season 3, Episode 7. Did I already say that? Maybe. I'll say it again if so. I'm Kevin. This is the 100 Companions, technically. And when I chose that name, there were literally less than 100 of you. So yeah, like I said, pretty cool. There's 1,000 now. First off, I think you guys are probably right in my comments. I bet you Samuel probably isn't dead. That would be an enormous, like I said, it would be an enormous waste of a usable character and someone they barely established. And I think you guys are right. I think I probably just overreacted in the moment because, like I said, I didn't even notice it in the moment. And then someone else told me, oh, no, he was dead, right? And I went back and looked at it, and I was like, oh, he does look dead. But I think, as many of you pointed out to me, it just doesn't make any sense for that. And also, possibly, there's, like, a possible leaked script and, other things to say that he's probably still alive. So, that works.
There's still plenty of meat on that bone. You take this home, throw it in a pot, add some broth, a potato. Baby, you got a stew going.
So this week, basically, we know the Battle of the Two Rivers is happening. It was pretty much set up. So I am pretty pumped to watch this episode. I am pretty pumped. Though I did have, just in full frank honesty with all of you, I did have what I would consider to be a minor spoiler. Hopefully it doesn't seem too major when the point comes around. I don't know. But I went to leave a comment on a different Reactors video this morning. This is my own hubris. This is my mistake, really. I went to leave a comment on someone else's video, having not watched their video yet because I haven't watched the show. I had to go to work first. And I was just going to leave a comment for her. And this is Lesbian Nerdy, by the way. If you don't watch her stuff, she is fantastic. But anyway, I went to comment on Lesbian Nerdy's video, and the first thing that popped up, the first other comment when I went to write my comment was, I don't think Loyal's dead. So, yeah. It looks like something happens in this video that makes people think that Loyal is dead. So yeah, that kind of got spoiled for me, and that's my own fault. That's not the comment leaver's fault. I wouldn't call that comment an unfair spoiler or anything because, again, you're supposed to have already watched the show before you come comment on these videos, and that was my bad. So yeah, I spoiled it for myself, let's say.
I've made a huge mistake.
I'm also aware, now this was just because I saw someone else talking about the preview for next week. I don't watch the previews for the next week, but I can't blame people for watching them. They exist. They're tagged on at the end of the episode. I can see why you would watch them. But I have heard that in that video it shows the Tuatha on again because the people were saying, I wonder why it showed the Tuatha on. Now I'm just spinning my wheels. Okay, let's just watch. I've just got to watch. And this time I'm going to remember to take the map down. Failure is a good teacher, friends. All right, are we ready? Let's do it. Right into it. Oh, they've already built a palisade. Industrious people. People of the Two Rivers. Channelers at any stripe are going to be useful in a battle.
You know, Lord Perrin taught us well.
Don't call me that.
Of course, Lord Golden Eyes.
Those are Tuatha. Open the gate. It's all right. You can come in.
Look at that hit. Look at that axe he's got. Look at that axe he's got.
You need them. And our war.
Oh, man. 3 seasons. 3 seasons to shut me up about that axe.
Trollocs. Last night.
So we don't have to see it.
Only a few.
Where's Tam?
Parental.
It was time to come home.
I had hoped that one day we would find you again on the road. This time coming to stay with us.
If we had, he'd probably be dead right now. Like grandfather.
The way of the leaf has never been easy, but the Tuatha have always walked it. We bury our dead, and we go on. What else is there?
Go where?
Close your eyes. Picture the bud of a flower. Pink.
When do we get to throw fireballs?
Nah.
We don't have time for you to learn the battle wheels. You're going to have to link with me so I can draw on your power
And combine it.
and smile. You must be the new wisdom. You can see my weaves. That means you can channel. And you've been watching me train them all week.
What? You want me to be part of your child army?
Don't you want to learn how to use your power?
Depends on whether I have to stop drinking.
Best thing.
So is that Daisy Conger then, I guess?
Why don't you hold the bloody lot?
You really think you can draw a long bow?
Better than you, boy.
The Red Wolf head, huh?
I know. You love it.
We don't need any banners in the Two Rivers, much less that one.
I told a few of the villagers that Trollocs are afraid of wolves.
They are.
Gives them something to rally around.
And what if I'm not ready?
I'm not gonna cry because they unrolled a flag, guys.
If the Two Rivers wanted the best general, they'd follow Alana.
Maybe I am.
They wanted
I'm
the
not.
best fighter. If you can fight monsters, so can they.
Boy, I love this Tinker wagon behind them. Oh.
Did you get the message to Lord?
He said they'll meet us at the pass.
I don't see you crying, robot. You taste these tears. Taste my sand, Michael.
gonna lick your eye. Okay.
I bet your camp is as filled with refugees as our village. Does that sound like dozens to you? The Trollocs have come here to destroy us. And they'll attack tonight. Because you murdered my father! I'm sorry. Truly, I am.
Wasn't exactly murder. I mean, people die in battles,
I'm sorry
Dane.
for what you did to Natty Cawthon. She died for your grief. Like your father died for mine. Where does this all stop? It's a betrayal of everything you claim to stand for. What your father stood for.
Why should we fight for you?
Because it's the right thing to do. Look, you come to the Two Rivers. You help us. And I'll go with you when the battle's done. To face your lad's justice. That's why you came here, isn't it? To these mountains.
This is how he talks him into it in the books.
If this could be our last night together, I think I'll finally relent. kiss.
What?
If you still wish me to.
Tonight's going to be our last night together. I don't want to miss any bit of you. And I wasn't lying about the figs. Look at one my students gave me.
You bitch!
Like I said, the couple that slays together stays together. If you're in a, cold marriage, all you really need to do is take your spouse and go kill about a dozen white cloaks. Spicy.
Yeah. That's what he used to do. You and I are making something new.
Okay. So see, this is an interesting reason to even change the dynamics of how Alana and her warders are in the books versus this, and we don't really even know how much this would be changing it because we don't know that much about. Frankly, Alana's not a major character in the books in the same way she's been in the show.
Are you afraid?
Of course not. Not a big baby.
That is a nice axe.
Liz, are you familiar with Japanese moe relationships where socially dysfunctional men develop deep emotional attachments to body pillows?
I am not, James.
Neither am I, Liz, which is why it's so weird that tabloids are running all these stories saying I'm in love with a body pillow. I mean,
Then why is that here?
Kamiko is here like any other object. Objects are made by men and used for many purposes, but we never love objects.
So why are you fighting for it? I know it isn't just because of me.
Maybe it's because you question that. And most men wouldn't.
I don't want to see you die.
You won't? Not last longer than you.
Serious?
It depends. Are you sending me away because you're scared that axe will end up in me? Same as your wife?
I know you're the big marriage expert. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. Your wife is dead. I'm sorry. That was 100% inappropriate, and I do apologize profusely. Oh.
I choose to fight. Just like everyone here is. Just like your wife did. We deserve respect before battle and honor after it. Save your guilt for the enemies that escaped.
You've paid your toll. You're free to leave and go home.
Oh. He's trying to save their lives.
A moment. Jihad's toll is paid. But now I owe you, toll builder.
And Maggie, where she goes.
Then why didn't Matt come home with you? Yes, that's.
Bahun of Valais.
Your brother blew it.
He's a hero now.
It looks like a sheep's bladder, but it sounds like one too.
Take care, Loyal. Son of Arendt, son of Helen. Your name sings in my ear.
And I swear, your name.
This is extremely grand music.
Lord Perrin, go.
They're making me nervous. And I probably wouldn't be nervous at all if I hadn't read that comment saying that I shouldn't be nervous. That's some serious armor he's got on.
We walk the footsteps of our fathers, trail blessed by our mothers. They bought the land with their blood.
Hey, they brought it back. They've brought in the Manetheren angle now, like, in just a moment. I mean, some people are gonna be mad, you know. But unfortunately, they're having to move this at pace because there are a bunch of people out there trying to undercut this show because they're dicks. I will save my technical thoughts for the end. Has Loyal got a giant hammer? Oh, I better get to see Loyal fight a little bit.
Link with me.
Ooh. Oh, this is, I already know this is gonna be cool. A hailstorm? I mean, you know, sometimes you want to do it with style. You could just call lightning, but Alana wants to kill people with a bunch of icicles. She got Daisy Conger to stop drinking? Oh, okay. I was gonna say, that wasn't quite enough people to be the whole town, really, at the pass, but I don't want to be super negative about it, but it makes sense that there's still a bunch of people still back at the town.
Alana! Alana! Behind you!
Daisy! It is Daisy! No! Those Trolloc arrows are enormous.
Soldiers don't win battles. What wins battles is being too dumb to know when you're beaten.
Nah.
Too stubborn to fall down and die. And too nasty to let the wheel crush you without jabbing a stick in its spokes. What do you say? Can the people of the Two Rivers manage that?
Permanently from the other side.
Proud of you. I'm so sorry.
What was that horn? Who's here?
Whitecloaks! They're waving a flag of peace!
Open the gate!
What's about to happen here?
It was abandoned.
They took it less than an hour ago. There's no way it would be abandoned. Baron Fane, he's with you? Fane's a doctrine! Close the gates! Hold these gates!
Whoa. Oh, geez. I'm probably not talking enough at all.
Go! Go now! Women's circle! Hold the line! Autumn,
Yes. It's time.
Let our feet fly.
We must go deeper into the woods.
Okay. Do I see now why they made this change? I think I do. I think they've created a parallel. I mean, anybody that wants to can kill Valda. I'm actually alright with that. Oh, jeez. This is a creepy looking Trolloc. Oh, well, this makes this even more tragic. Well done, Aram. Actually makes that all more tragic.
What would you give for the two rivers?
Everything.
Then show them.
Oh. Are we two-handing?
Stay behind me.
Stop trying to protect.
Kill the ones I missed.
To me! Hold the square! We hold the square!
Ooh. And I mean, this is all fully canon. The women's circle, I think it's all the girls and boys above the age of 14 are fighting in this battle.
Step aside, children.
Oh.
When keeping it real goes wrong.
Oh my god, please. Oh. Oh. Oh, I'm about to cry because that was so awesome.
Taste the happy, Michael. Taste it. Tastes kind of like sad.
Oh, Balda's dead. Oh, no questions there. Jeez. Feo with the baby knife tactics. Is he speaking Trolloc?
Great Lord wants to wipe the two rivers off the map to make a point to the Dragon Reborn? Great. Kill me or don't.
I mean, Valda just died. And, yeah. Let's just say Valda does not die in the two rivers. Thought that might be what he ended up doing. Okay, I don't like this. Wait.
Why do you smell so afraid?
Can't help but like that.
Call off your army. I know you control them. You have been the whole time.
I mean, this sort of just makes Perrin look like a dark friend. It's a change I don't love, but I'll get over it. I mean, everything's so out of order. This is happening much earlier in the series than it does in the books, so...
No. The pattern has bigger plans for us, I think. Now that you've saved my life twice.
Life is a dream from which we all must wake before we can dream again.
May your soul find water and shade. Loyal, son of Arendt, son of Halan. Your name sings in our ears.
Going to choose to believe Loyal is not dead. Even though from what I just saw, he should absolutely be dead. I can think of like one I can think of one scenario for how he survives.
We had a deal.
What are you talking about?
Like it was your choice to fight. And it's my choice to stop fighting. Can you respect that?
Okay.
A man of honor. Perrin Aybara. My friend.
I am deeply confused right now.
Hail Perrin Goldeneyes, Lord of the Two Rivers! Lord Perrin! Lord Perrin!
I am deeply puzzled by what just happened there at the end. Deeply puzzled. Alright, companions, so it is post-editing Kevin here. My first attempt at an outro was complete garbage. complete garbage. I'm just telling you guys. I saved you from 25-30 minutes of meandering nonsense. I just could not scrape together my thoughts after that episode in a coherent way. So I think I'm just going to do it now. It'll probably be a lot more concise. You guys will probably appreciate it a lot more. First off, those of you that hate the clips, sorry. Second off, I thought that was a great episode. I didn't love it quite as much as some of the other episodes this season so far, but that isn't because it was a bad episode in any way, shape, or form. It's, like, that was full Two Rivers from the start of the episode to the end of the episode. I understand there's going to be criticism that this was rushed. It did even feel a little rushed to me. Having to do all this in one episode is going to feel rushed. It's basically a whole book, guys. It's, it's one of two stories in essentially one whole book. And, how would you do this right? You would do a whole season that's just Perrin and the Two Rivers. That's what you would do. But that's if this show's as popular as Game of Thrones was at its height, and you have no problem keeping it on the air and, all that kind of stuff. That's a perfect world scenario, That's if you let some lunatic like me run the show instead of someone who actually understands how, all this stuff works. Yeah, so, that was never going to happen. Even if this were Game of Thrones, if you've read the Game of Thrones books, that stuff all got rushed. If you watched the show, it is all incredibly rushed compared to the books. And people thought that was some sort of masterpiece, right? And the early seasons were very good. I apologize if you can hear my dog chewing on her toy, but that is how it is. I agree. Doing the whole Two Rivers storyline in one episode is kind of rushed. But I still enjoyed it. I still enjoyed this episode. There's a lot of other stuff that's in that storyline that I wish could have made it into this episode, but unfortunately it didn't. Much like the memories and all that. I mean, as these glasses are so janky, guys. So they often make my eyes look like they're wildly different heights, which, I'm sure they are a little bit, but not that much. Yeah, these are my very old glasses, but they reflect less than my normal glasses. So, it's all right. If you guys don't mind Frog Boy, then Frog Boy will be here to make videos for you.
Soon you didn't know where Frank began and Froggy ended.
Oh, yeah, I see that. I remember that now.
Back on topic. The scale of this battle in the books is huge, right? If you were to ask me my favorite part in the books when I was like a teenager, it was definitely this battle, this storyline. I loved this storyline, and I still do. But as I've gotten older, if you were to ask me what about this book series makes it stand out, what do you love? I would say like the alt history stuff and, Rand going through the columns. That kind of stuff is the stuff that really makes this series stand out from other fantasy series. If you read this series, quite frankly, the first two books are going to be they're going to be pretty samey so far as fantasy goes, right? They're going to feel very much like a lot of other fantasy stories you've read, which was both intentional by Robert Jordan, because he was trying to establish this, the same old story before he could then weave away from it, right? But he's someone who writes in such minutia, terrible minutia, which I love. Anyone who loves Robert Jordan loves minutia, because the man writes minutia like no one else. And I love it. You know, I love that he describes every freaking stitch of fabric on someone's clothing. I love that he describes how all the furniture in different cultures looks. You know, I love all that. I went to school for history, right? I like minutia. This show can't move at that pace, unfortunately. It just can't. So I'm willing to cut it a break sometimes. Now, some of the other stuff that, you know, are obvious changes, like in the books, again, these are not going to be plot spoilers. I'm not going to say anything that's plot spoilery. But in the books, it's Trollocs attacking. It's not Dark Friends. There aren't a bunch of human Dark Friends in an army attacking the Two Rivers. No, it's Trollocs. It's Trollocs and Myrddraal. Oh yeah, there were no Myrddraal. Well, that's unfortunate. But yeah, it's Shadow Spawn, and I guess I shouldn't say no Dark Friends, but you know, it's not an army of Dark Friends. It's not an army of humans, right? It's an army of Trollocs. But for the TV show, even though they've made these nice practical Trolloc suits now that they can then throw some CGI on and make them look really cool for the up close shots, to do that for all of them would be, I'm sure, cost prohibitive. So, you know, I can understand how using human extras is just going to be cutting a nice corner, right? And it makes sense. It makes sense. I can accept that. And also the scale of the battle is just not, it's just not on the same scale. But to pay that many actors, you know, notice Roose Bolton was not in the episode, even though his character is supposed to be here, because I'm sure he's more cost prohibitive than most of the actors that they're using in the Two Rivers. The battle is, you know, it's a little scaled down compared to the books, and again, certain characters aren't here. That's probably the most important point that I did bring up in my first one, which is that our characters are in a very different point in their relationships with one another. Some of these characters, when these events happen in the books, these characters know each other a lot better than they do at this point in the show, because these events have happened earlier in the show than they happen in the books. And yeah, I don't want to tell you which characters that is, because that involves getting too spoilery. But there are characters whose relationships are significantly different in these events. I'm good with the changes. You know, they really caught me off guard with some changes this episode. Obviously, I've elected to simply reject the most hateful change, which is that Loyal is not dead. Obviously, he fell from there onto a lower guiding island, because if you've ever, in the books, they talk about how, you know, those islands and paths, they go up above each other. You can sometimes realize, like, wait, I'm on this island, and the island I was just on was directly above us right now. Like, it's weird, you know, physics aren't quite right in that place. So yeah, there are really two options there, which one is that Loyal fell onto a nearby guiding island, or he fell in the darkness forever until he either died of fright or hunger or thirst. That's another option. Or Machin Shin found him and ate his soul. Yeah, that'd be great for Loyal.
And so the endless circle of life comes to an end, meaningless and grim. Why did they live, and why did they die? No reason.
So no, Loyal is not dead. He clearly fell onto another guiding island, and he's going to crawl out a different door, and he's going to heal at an ogre grove for a while, and then he's going to come back and meet our characters later on next season. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. They didn't eliminate Loyal because they weren't using him effectively enough, and they decided, well, we might as well get rid of him because the prosthetics are cost prohibitive and blah, blah, blah. That's obviously not what they did. I refuse to believe they did that. I have had low faith in some of the writing and stuff up to this point and been proven wrong a few times. So this time I'm going to have high faith, and they damn well better prove me right. That's where we are on the Loyal situation. But Valda, that one sure as hell caught me off guard, and I loved it. I loved it. All right. Is there anything else I really need to get to for this one? No. You know, like I said, I mean, this, if I were 15 still, this might still be my favorite episode, frankly. I'm just saying that me at, almost 40, my favorite episode was probably The Glass Columns. That one's just, what a mind-blowing, I mean, yeah, that's again, what sets these books apart from any other fantasy series I've ever read, is that kind of stuff. Big battles and stuff, that's going to be in almost any fantasy series you read, and they could be really good. I love the battles that Robert Jordan writes in his books. They're fantastic because he's a real military historian, so he puts all kinds of stuff into his work that other people don't bother with or think about. Just another great episode. All bangers in season 3. All bangers in season 3. So we've only got one more episode, and that makes me deeply sad. I really do wish that they'd released this week to week. I know I've said it a couple times, but I'll say it one more time. I wish they'd released it fully week to week, because 8 episodes isn't enough to do a 3-episode drop. There's no time in there for us to get other people watching this show. Please tell your friends about this show. Oh. Or just sign up for 5 Amazon accounts yourself and watch the show on all of them. No, don't do that. That's a terrible idea. Jeff Bezos has enough money. All right. Anyhow, companions, another great week. Let me know how you guys felt about this episode down below. Honestly, I think I enjoyed getting more of this episode over again while I was editing it, and I'm probably about to just go watch the full episode again on my whole TV, and that's always a different experience too, because I'm watching it on my computer monitor here when I watch it with you guys. So, I'm sure that there's going to be all kinds of stuff that I catch that I missed, like always, and I'm sure you guys are going to tell me some of the stuff that I can catch that I missed. So I'm excited to hear from you guys, and I'm going to go ahead and try and get this up as quick as possible. See you next time, companions.